My pastor said that we have to take the tattoos off of our brain. It is, the hate for ourselves has literally been etched in our brains. But I love us. I love us, and until I die, I will do better about loving my people.
I think we devalue intellectualism within our own community. We know the country does. But I think within our own community, we have devalued intellectualism. All of the people who we revere, from Marcus Garvey to Malcolm X to Sojourner Truth to Ida B. Wells, these are journalists, these are debaters, these are public speakers, these are well-read folks. The Black Panther Party started as student groups in Oakland, folks on college campus figuring out what are we going to do as young people to change our future so we don't end up like domestics, like our parents. So we need to embrace learning again, because the truth is, when we were most engaged in the study of our own history and culture, we posed the greatest threat to the then current political and economic status quo.
We need our children to stop defining themselves by this notion of failure and achievement gap and all of the words and the buzzwords that somehow you just believe, like the sky is falling. It's not. We have the ability and are thriving. And our children need to see that and know that and hear that conversation a lot more than what's wrong. Because there's a lot right. We need to focus on that.
Why would I want to uplift my slaves? They're my slaves. Of course, I'm going to keep them beneath me. I'm going to keep them third, fourth to me.
So put together a class for all of us to attend, and we should even teach the kids in the streets this. The kids in the streets need to open bank accounts, need to understand taxes, need to understand stocks, need to understand technology, where that's going, being a venture capitalist. There's a time where I would never want to use the word capitalist because most capitalists are evil bastards. You know what I'm saying? Now I can look at myself and I'm going to play the game. I was born into the capitalist world. Guess what? I'm going to get in. I'm going to be a rapitalist, like a capitalist, whatever you want to call it, I'm coming in.
A lot of times people will try to make black businesses synonymous with minority businesses, and minority can mean anything. Because of that minority word, we have to go back to being unapologetically African. We are afraid not to blend in. We want to blend in, so we fight as people of color. We want to blend in. We fight as minorities. Nothing wrong with lending moral support to other people's problems. But your experience in America is unlike everybody else's. Every other person of color in this country came here because they wanted to be here. Everybody. You Asian, Arab, Latino, East Indian, Irish, Italian. Yes, you were hung. Yes, you were beat. Yes, you were mistreated. But it couldn't have been that bad because you could have left and you did not.
Our Jewish brothers and sisters write checks. Our Asian brothers and sisters write checks. Our Arab brothers and sisters write checks. We have to write checks. And that's how you effectively utilize the political system. Write a damn check and see who will answer your call and your email. Or run up to them and say, I voted for you. So did 900,000 other people. Oh, I wrote a check for $1,000. Now you have my attention. Money is the real power. And other groups, other culture groups, absolutely understand that.
Other groups of people, they have their needs met by politicians because they pool their money together and they go to politicians with an agenda. And that's one thing that African American people will not do. We have to pool our money together with an agenda and take it to politicians. Abel Longoria got together with a lot of Hispanic business people and they created a fund. They brought like $30 million to President Barack Obama to his campaign. And this is why the president will talk about Hispanic needs. In the gay community, Hollywood had a fundraiser. They brought millions of dollars to Barack Obama's campaign. This is why the president will talk about gay needs and gay agendas. African American people, we can't get our agendas talked about because the thing is we won't put no money together as a group and bring that agenda to these politicians. And that's the number one thing we need to do. Whenever there's a politician running or trying to get elected, we should form a group, pool our money together, and come to them with a specific agenda for African American people, not minorities.
All of our religious leaders need to get together. Our economic leaders need to get together. And labor, we need to start to hire ourselves.
all of these nail techs and manicure things, right? And I see black women flocking to them, and I don't see black women owning those shops. I don't see black women working in those shops. And so we have to ask ourselves, okay, if this is something you're willing to spend on, think about what that means in terms of job creation in your own neighborhoods when you're providing this service.
We don't have a food corridor. So we need to figure out how can we import food. Even in the African stores here, they have food that comes in out of Saudi Arabia, Israel, and a lot of places, okay? But not the Negro in America, not the black people here. We don't have a food corridor. We don't have any way to get, they even bring in water, they bring in everything. We don't have anything. We're totally dependent on this country. If all the stores close down, we don't have anywhere to go, and we don't have a contact with nobody outside of the country to ship us no food. We don't have a food corridor. That's something that we need to start looking into.
Yeah, there's a new sneaker store that I'm opening up in Vegas called 12 a.m. Run. You know, I'm a sneaker head from back in the 80s, you know, and it's something I talked about doing with other rappers even, like, you know, we sit down talking. A lot of people will talk about, let's do a song. I'm like, we've done thousands of songs, man. Like, let's do a restaurant. Let's do a sneaker store.
If you want to deal with white supremacy, you got to hit them in the pocket. I preach that. Stop going the moral route. You're not going to convince them that racism is bad. They know that. They're not stupid. You have to deal with people where the interests are. And if the interest in money, you hit them in a pocket and you get what you want.
5% of the people who became millionaires were salespeople. People who sold something. Because in America, two things are going on 24/7. Somebody's buying and somebody's selling. Right now, black people are doing all the buying. I tell them all the time, stop doing all the buying and sell something. I don't care if you bake cookies, put them in a box, put a label on it and sell it to somebody. If you live on a farm, take the manure, put it in a bag, put your name on it and sell it to somebody. You can become an entree manure, okay? But sell something. Stop doing all the damn buying. That's all we do. Sell something. So if you want to beat racism, sell something and build a business.
Black people should at least create a parallel economy where they spend their money with the dominant society, but they also spend their money with their own people. They also build infrastructure in the black community, build businesses where they interact and do commerce with other black people. So we should create a parallel economy. So it's like a backup economy so that we could employ other black people and we can just have our own money circulating where we're not totally dependent on the dominant society.
There's those of us who are business people and those of us who are business people. The job of the company that I started, phrasing it, is to put the business people out of business. Because you're messing it up for those of us that are trying to do serious business. Now we know the brother or sister that is the business person. They give you a jacked up business card. They do hair. They do computer software. And they, of course, do detailing of your cars. I'm not sure what they do. They got 2 phone numbers crossed out, and they don't have a website.
Because a lot of African American people are comfortable, it's best for us to just get an economic base in the African American community, since our whole thing is spending money with the dominant society because we're very comfortable. We want to live like the Joneses. Let's just spend our money and create an economic base among each